What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of the Civilization 5 tournament that we've been running, the AI battle tournaments. We are in the final. We're 75 turns in. Why is it? Feels a bit weird, but I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, we are in the final. It's so far so good. I don't think anyone has completely died, have they? Let me just check. No, the Shoshone and Mongolia sort of clinging on by the skin of their teeth. But everyone's still alive for now. Hopefully you guys made some predictions. I realised I didn't make a prediction. I'm probably going to stay out of it. Like, just, you know, this isn't TSL, so I have no idea. This is more about which Civ is genuinely just better. And obviously this scenario still plays into it, but I don't really know all of their abilities off by heart. Obviously I have some idea of who's good and who isn't, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. So I won't be picking anyone, but straight away Ethiopia grabbing a wonder to start this episode as the Aztecs versus Sweden, who of course Sweden is sort of collapsing right now. They may actually be the first to completely die looking at this. And France versus the Iroquois has broken out as well. Oh, and the Aztecs with the steal out of nowhere, well, not out of nowhere, we knew they were here, but the Zulu were grabbing this city for the whole time basically, and then boom, just like that the Aztecs do sweep in. If they could go after Stockholm here, although Sweden actually just grabbed another city, that could be pretty useful for them. The Danish have settled Chichen Itza, which is quite a good one for them, just a little wonder. And then the Shoshone going after Denmark as well. Oh, and it's finally broken out. India, we've had so much going on. It's only been 1 minute. I'm going to be trying to do another 75 turns this time. Obviously, that will probably take me longer than the first episode did, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. It'll probably be a longer episode for you guys if it keeps up at this pace. This has definitely been the most exciting one so far, in my opinion. I'm really into this one. Maybe it's because I'm paying more attention to the stats, I don't know. But Denmark versus India has broken out, so that's pretty exciting. Sweden and the Zulu have peaced out, sorry. So that, yeah, the Zulu really got blocked there by the Aztecs, who themselves just grabbed Notre Dame. So plenty of happiness for the Aztecs. And there we go, Sweden's capital falling. This has been crazy. 3 turns of absolute hecticness. The Aztecs just flying into this episode with Stockholm and Sigtuna. And now Sweden is probably in last place. The Shoshone have been lifted as they are now stuck in 2-pop Helsinki. And I imagine that might go as well pretty soon. And oh wow, I did not know the Iroquois were making a fight back against Russia. I thought the Iroquois was struggling, but there we go. They grab a city off Russia. Pretty big one as well, so not so good for Russia. Most literate, here we go, technology. We did just look at this at the end of the last one, but Korea leading the way, Iroquois and Zulu second and third. Zulu versus Aztecs, that does now matter quite a bit. Zulu, fair enough. You lost this city. Seems reasonable. And Ethiopia in as well, so these two are now friends. They weren't so keen on each other at the start, but now certainly more keen. And somehow Sweden grabbed this back. I don't know, don't ask me. All the complicated, the Zulu having the worst time. I assume the Zulu pieced out with Sweden, so they now cannot take this back. I'm sure the Aztecs will get it again. Russia and Iroquois trading St. Petersburg for now, at least, over between the two of them. And the Zulu here should be grabbing the city off the Aztecs. I've come in early, so hopefully we get it right. Always awkward when you get it wrong. But yeah, Sweden and the Aztecs pieced out, so that was a real quick sort of wars and peace deals. Very quick, over less than 10 turns for Sweden and the Aztecs, but there you go. So the Zulu maybe can still come out of this as the big winners, at least in the region. Up here in this northern corner, obviously Ethiopia is not really gaining from this anymore. Sweden getting this back hurt the Aztecs, and the Zulu grabbing this city really helps them. Denmark v Mongolia, not so important, and so far Denmark v India not really leading to too much, and I did think that would be a bit of an ask. I don't see either of them having too much success against each other. Denmark will probably eventually win, just because they have India like pinned in the corner, but obviously that depends on Denmark like surviving against the other civs. A few cities changing hands, most of them sort of changing hands regularly, but yeah, the Iroquois and Korea also pieced out, so the two biggest civs probably for now have pieced out. I don't know where Austria is in that mix. They're another big winner here with all this fighting going on. They're just sat here getting stronger. And Mongolia also pieced out with Korea, so maybe they can survive for a little bit longer for now. The Zulu grabbing another city off the Aztecs, a bit of a strange path. I don't know, they didn't go straight for the capital. They could still definitely probably go for the kill here if they wanted to against the capital. It's a bit more defended, but it's certainly something they could do. And then all of a sudden Shaka's looking menacing out here in the west as well with his musket men. I don't think any of the other civs, no, some of the civs have a musket man. Austria definitely do, as you can see. The Iroquois may have chosen not to. It's probably a top civ thing. I mean, Korea could have them. They probably should. They are the leading civ on technology, but they don't. So it's more of a choice. Some civs won't upgrade and stuff like that. France, money's obviously a part in that too. France does have them. They have their musketeers. So a strong era maybe ahead for them with their unique units. Oh, and the Aztecs and Zulu pieced out, and one more city goes the way of the Zulu to create some ultimate pour de gore. Sweden, Aztec, Sweden, Zulu, Aztec. This is just a nightmare. But there we go. And Korea versus Rome. Oh, actually that is bad for Rome. I mean, but attacking into this valley does not seem like the best idea in the world. So we'll see how this ends up. And apparently someone killed Mongolia. Oh, Rome did it. I didn't see that coming. That came out of nowhere. But Rome has captured Karakorum there. So they have the first civ to be... Yeah, the first civ eliminated is Mongolia. Sweden still have a couple of cities. Shoshone is still alive. Mongolia is out, which is really bad luck. Because in the game that I mentioned that got sort of... had to... You know, the video didn't work. Mongolia was actually running away with it after only episode 1. So that is... kind of rough on them that they're the first eliminated here. Like I said, Austria was already gone in that one, but they're having a bit of a resurgence here. So there you go. Bit of a surprise. France and the Iroquois piece out, and that is equal for now. Korea versus the Aztecs doesn't matter too much, but Russia look like they are in a bit of trouble here against the Iroquois. The Iroquois and Russia piecing out, and now they're going straight after Rome. So this could be rough for Rome. Zulu in as well, so there you go. Wasn't that like the first war we ever had? No, that was Mongolia and Zulu. But no, Iroquois and Zulu versus Rome, who are already holding off Korea. So this is going to be a very rough time for Rome. They're impressive, you know. I mean, at this point, they can't finish last. Like, the situation that they've been in, even if they come, like, second last, that's fair enough. You know, you've done a good job there. Just to make things worse for Rome, Austria has now joined in. So the 4, arguably, maybe strongest civs in the world now, all from all 4 sides going after Rome. So far, they've held on, but both of these cities sort of on the brink, especially this one. This one might be a bit safer because of its location, but certainly Karakorum here could be in some trouble. And here we go. This is going to be probably a bad turn for Rome. We'll hop in just ahead of the action because, yeah, this does not look fun at all. It's coming ever so slowly. Here we go. Karakorum should fall to the Iroquois. There we go. They now possess another capital. Of course, no, there is a few other capitals that have fallen around the map. I was going to say, is that the only one? But no, the Iroquois, I think Denmark have the Shoshone's capital. And there we go, Korea grabbing that northern city that's in a difficult spot. And Rome starting to look a little bit more of a slither down the start of the map. Before they were more of a blob, and now it's more of a slither. Not looking so healthy anymore. And the Iroquois and Korea continuing to get stronger. Those two rivaling each other every step of the way. It's going to be very exciting. Hopefully some of the civs in the west can match them. It seems at the moment Shaka might be up for it. Austria, of course, have been looking good all game as well. If they can maybe do something. I don't really know what Austria can do. They're kind of now stuck behind the Zulu. If they fight their way through these city-states, maybe. We'll see. Russia took some damage here, but of course they did get a peace deal, so they are safe now. And France may just put the Shoshone out of their misery and into second last. Seems like it could be heading that way. Sweden only briefly recovered this city then as Ethiopia come in and just take it, and that's a good from them. They've been a bit quiet, but yeah, that's really good for them. Good city, keeps them in the mix and pushes Sweden right up into the corner. Bit sad for them at the moment. The city of Rome is right on the brink here in the red. Assume it's going to go to the Zulu. Korea could sneak in the longer it drags out, but yeah, I think the Iroquois are right in there as well, actually. To be fair, those Lancers are right in there, but yeah, I think Rome shall be falling. I mean, they seem pretty focused on Antium, so yeah, Rome should probably fall to the Zulu this turn. Austria did peace out they were the last one in, they were the first one out. Obviously there's mountains in the way, so that wasn't going to be easy for them. And there you go, Rome has fallen, another capital goes, and Shaka definitely wasn't one of the biggest contenders coming into this second part, or second episode, or second 75 turns, whatever you prefer. But certainly now he is making a case for himself. He is bulldozing his way around here. Oh, but Rome does retake the city of Rome. And they get a peace deal with Korea, so maybe there is some hope for Rome. They can now focus everything on the Zulu and the Iroquois to survive. But that was short-lived. Rome fell straight away. Thought we'd have a look at religion, just because I don't know if I did it towards the end of the last episode or in the middle, but there we go. 2 really good religions and the other 3 a bit naff. So Catholicism has won the battle, obviously almost all of them in the east, so coming out with 24. Eastern Orthodox I thought would be the best one, but it's still doing okay out in the west with 18. But yeah, 3, 4, 6, Russia, India and Denmark not having the best times at all. Of course, India and Denmark still locked in a war. Actually, maybe they've peaced out now. But yeah, no one won. Wasn't a winner as such. But oh, it looks like another capital, not a capital, no, a second city is going to fall. And there we go, the Shoshone, I think, unless I'm mistaken, joined Mongolia as the only 2 civs to be completely wiped off the face of the continent. I hope I've not forgotten anybody. So I think everyone else, I think it's still 12. Sweden's still clinging on in the corner. But yeah, the Shoshone eliminated. France still chugging along here. They're sort of dwarfed by their neighbours, but there's every hope for them, although they are also seem to be struggling with Denmark here, who have their berserker units. And it looks like this is the end for Rome. They will soon be joining the Shoshone in Mongolia, as Ravenna here falls in the south to the Iroquois, and Antium is going to fall, whether it be to the Zulu or the Iroquois. Probability would say the Iroquois here. But obviously there's a few things that will determine that. Timing, playing a big part, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the Iroquois go first, so they should have this in the bag. Yep, there you go. Job done. They didn't even come up at the bottom. That's a bit weird, but there you go. Job done. Rome is the next civ gone, and now we have borders between some of the most powerful civs in the world. Quite exciting. You can see Korea, Zulu, Austria, and the Iroquois all right next to each other. Korea now with Gatling guns, so they are pushing up the tech tree. I know Austria has riflemen, so we're seeing some more advanced units start to come out from the front runners. Some of the islands around the edge of the map also starting to be settled. Sweden's grabbed one, although it's going to be very temporary by the look of it. Korea has one. Don't know if anyone else has quite done the same anywhere, but yeah, at least just a couple. There's a few little islands out there. I don't know how you're supposed to get this wonder. Like, settle here and just hope. Well, here is a bit intriguing list. Korea, 4 techs ahead of everyone. They are obviously a very technologically gifted civilization, so 4 ahead is good for them. Science, definitely one of their strong points. Austria is sitting in second, 42. Then there's quite a big gap still then to Iroquois, Denmark and India on 39. Zulu 37. Austria, oh no, Austria is up there, sorry. But yeah, not the best news, that list, for some of these civs. We have our first ideology, and Austria grabs the Brandenburg Gate too. But Korea is leading the way, so this is not really a surprise, and they have gone autocracy. So we'll see what sides the others choose to go through before the end of this episode, hopefully. Second ideology in Austria, who was, we saw, the second best civ, coming a few turns behind. And they go with order, so complete opposite to Korea. Or not opposite, but, you know, assuming freedom's not going to be picked at those two sort of polar opposites in this world. Hang on, Russia just declared war on the Iroquois. What? Am I losing my mind? Hang on. We'll look at the info addicts when this turn's finished processing. Normally, okay, that's why. I was going to say, I was like, surely, I was a bit concerned there for Russia, because they lost last time. But Denmark joining in, and I mean, Austria may have played a blinder here, because they're pretty safe. So they've sort of baited Russia and Denmark in. France piecing out the Aztecs doesn't matter too much. Aztecs and Zulu v Sweden. I mean, the Aztecs should probably kill off Sweden here. Ethiopia did take their little island. And Korea versus the Iroquois. Oh my goodness, that is huge. Okay, that didn't register straight away. Okay, so Austria, Denmark, Russia and Korea all going after the Iroquois. The Great Wall will be tested again. I'm imagining, based on sort of the turns and technology in my head, that Korea probably will soon not have to worry about the Great Wall, which has obviously helped the Iroquois protect their vast empire. But yeah, this is a real team effort to put a stop to the Iroquois. And if it fails, it would be a disaster, because the Iroquois probably will win if they can stop this. But if Korea, Russia and Denmark in particular, and obviously Austria can throw some units in, can just, even if they don't need to kill them, just, you know, each take a couple of cities. That's quite a lot actually, but you know, even if you each take one city, that like chomps down on them a little bit. I think they are probably leading for cities maybe now. They do look very big. Maybe they're not, probably not the biggest, but you know, yeah, I mean, if Russia got St. Petersburg back, if maybe Denmark grabbed this city, and you know, Korea grabbed 2 up here, then all of a sudden they look very small with only 4. So they don't even need to probably lose that. Like, it is just 1 each, and Austria is actually making progress to grabbing Ravenna here. In fact, that should happen. And that is a route to get in here and hurt them. So this could really get bad for the Iroquois if they're not careful. The Zulu now joining in against the Iroquois. It couldn't get much worse for the Iroquois, but like I said, if they survive this, then That's going to be terrifying for the rest of the world, because they're going to be very angry. And obviously monstrous. It's going to take a monstrous effort from them to survive, you know, without a scratch here. I mean, Austria's already grabbed one city, not the end of the world. And there we go, Sweden is next to fall. So as it stands, the list, 14th place, Mongolia, 13th place, the Shoshone, in 12th place, Rome, and 11th is Sweden. So there's still 10 to go. In terms of who's doing the best, who's doing the worst, well, let's start with the worst. I think Aztecs could be in trouble next if other civs team up on them. They don't look too bad, but they're not particularly great. Ethiopia, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They seem okay. Russia could be in trouble if, like, you know, the Iroquois pieces everyone else out and then just is still at war with Russia. India's not looking great, and I mean, Denmark isn't looking ideal, but they're probably a bit stronger. India's like in a good position though. They're safe. Like, they're not going to win, but they're probably not going to die next either. Whereas there are some civs that are in some very precarious positions while still being strong. France is like next to Korea and the Iroquois, even if they are much bigger than, say, in India. So I'm not really sure, but we'll find out, I guess. I mean, how many? I'm confused. There should be 14 left. Aztecs 1, Zulu 2, Ethiopia 3, Austria 4, Russia's 5, Iroquois 6, Korea 7, France 8, Denmark 9, India 10. Yeah, there is. Okay, I was getting confused there. France going after Denmark. This could change everything. They seem pretty well matched. By well matched, I mean, I don't know, but they both have lots of units. So we'll see how that goes for them. But yeah, that could give the Iroquois at least a bit of a lifeline. And there we go, the second city to fall of the Iroquois is pretty quick. And a little sneaky move by Austria to grab it as well. So Austria, I was a bit worried for them. I thought the Zulu would sort of cut them off and they had nothing, no room for expansion. But they are pushing through the mountains very well here against the Iroquois with the help of Korea. Also, one thing I've definitely learnt from this final, I'm thinking more civs the better, because obviously TSL AI only games, obviously the TSL element helps, but they're insane, like the amount of action that we normally get. Obviously there is some dry parts later on, but that's, I think, more time, and we don't really, we're all too impatient, and yeah, it's more my computer slowing it down, as in there's still loads of action, it's obviously just not happening as quickly, but you know, the first turns are insane. But here, this has definitely been the most entertaining, I think, so far of all of the qualifiers. Some of them were a bit stale, but this one has just been jam-packed. I don't know who's going to win this. And the fact they all teamed up on the Iroquois when it looked like they might just pull away, like that's something we don't see all the time. Normally they just sort of give in and take them on one by one and do stupid stuff. Haven't really seen too many bad peace deals. There's been a few cities given up, but sometimes you can even understand it. I mean, obviously, if you were playing as the Civ, as a human player, you'd probably just not care. You'd just say, okay, right, we're going to go out fighting, whatever. But, you know, the Civs, in their mind, maybe there's still some hope. If they do give up a city, they'll come back. But yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I don't think there's been any hugely bad peace deals like we sometimes see on the TSL games, which I think is to do with, again, the distance between Civs. They don't really understand how safe they actually are. They just look at the numbers, I would imagine. Also, Ethiopia v the Aztecs, that's pretty big, isn't it? Yeah, well, we'll see. Just it's a bit awkward right now. I don't know what's going on with Ethiopia here. France and Denmark piecing out pretty quickly, actually. But Russia making a move. Maybe they will get St. Petersburg back. The Iroquois pretty distracted as Austria coming in with artillery, and Korea has a plane. I mean, that came out of nowhere. They were obviously, we saw they were leading by about 6 techs to most of the civs and 3 to Austria, but they didn't, their units did not reflect that. Like they obviously clearly didn't have enough money to upgrade them all or whatever because they had too many. But all of a sudden, Korea with a couple of planes, the Iroquois, maybe some troubled waters ahead for them. But yeah, France and Denmark pieced out, so Denmark will now be fully focused on the Iroquois again. People with the pointier sticks, Korea, the Iroquois not even in the top 6, and they're fighting 4 of these civs. I mean, obviously the Zulu aren't even here, but definitely 3 of them are going to have an effort here. France could obviously quite easily join in too. They're right here as well. And, well, a bit of late settling. Never hurt anybody from Austria. Not sure how valuable this city will turn out to be, but there we go. It's settled just south of Russia in the snow. Oh, Austria, didn't even know they were fighting the Aztecs, but they just grabbed this little city here. I'm sure they won't go after the actual sort of Aztec cities up here. France versus, there we go, it's happened. So France joining in, yeah, the Iroquois. This is going from bad to worse for them. St. Petersburg is probably a couple of turns away from falling back to Russia. It looks like they're consigned to that sort of result. They're not going to go stop them. So Russia should pretty easily grab this. Oh, so close. Next turn. But yeah, France now joining in. It's going to get bad to us. And France probably have the open run at the capital. They're going to be the ones going after Onondaga. You see the Iroquois spread out. Move away. They're like, yep, Austria, you can have all that stuff. We need to stop France now. But yeah, this is not going to be fun for the Iroquois. It looked like they'd done it again. They've been winning quite a few of my games recently this year, but that is a brutal brutal way to go. And there we go. Russia does just get St. Petersburg back there as well. Third ideology. Who's this going to be? The Zulu going autocracy. So they join Korea on that pathway. Doesn't mean too much. Like, they won't if you're new around here, you don't know what's going on at all. They won't necessarily team up. Like, they can still kill each other. But yeah, I mean, they might work together sometimes. I think it influences it, like, a little bit. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all, but it might just say, if they were to choose between, say, if Ethiopia did go order and Korea was like, who should go to war with next, they might factor that in. But they're not going to just become best friends because of it or anything like that. Not that we know what their friendship is like. Maybe they are best friends. then it wouldn't matter. And sadly, another city-state has gone. I don't know how the Zulu got this, never mind, but Ethiopia did almost all the work, and it was taking them too long, so I guess the Zulu just hurried it up and went in there and stole it. This will be the last turn of this episode, so let me quickly have a little look as we hit 150. Have a little look at the map. The Aztecs clinging on for dear life, sort of. Their capital's fine at the moment. Zulu and the Iroquois just pieced out. The Zulu still looking pretty good here. Ethiopia not doing too bad either. Austria starting to settle a bit more, looking a bit more powerful. A few random cities down this way. Zulu down there too. Russia just slapped a citadel down to ward off the Austrians. The Iroquois crumbling. Karakorum could be next, but there's plenty of cities under threat. There you go, Beshbalik under threat as well. Not looking good. France and Denmark also closing in. Here's France, who've sort of completed the loop around those mountains. Korea looking very strong as well with planes at the moment. Certainly leading for technology. Denmark doing well here, doing their thing, and India, who we haven't given much credit to, but they're not really doing anything at the moment. We are seeing some overseas trade routes, so the western and the far eastern and far western sea are starting to meet each other. Quickly into the info addicts, as we can see, score. Again, that is Korea, I would presume. Where were we last time? Last time we were doing it, I think Korea had maybe just gone into the lead. I think it was around here where Ethiopia, for whatever reasons, high score, starting to curve off a little bit. So yeah, Korea, there you go, in first place. What does that say? Reset selection. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Okay, so who's in second? That is Austria on score, red. The grey line that's sort of fading away is the Iroquois here. You can see they're sort of going backwards. The white line that's caught up to them is the Zulu in fourth place, I guess, on score. Fifth, then, I assume, is still Ethiopia. Yep, that's impressive. That is a surprise, but I guess fair enough. Russia's not had the best time. France, that is surprising that France is behind Ethiopia, I guess, but never mind. I mean, there's internal things we can't see. So yeah, France is still on the up look. There's never any, huge negative period. They're still growing, just slower than some of the others. And then there's a little brown line. That is Denmark, I would presume. Yep. And then another green one, which I assume is India. And then Russia, who've had a bit of a leap, but they had a fall here when they lost St. Petersburg. They just kept chugging along, and now they got it back. So, that's sort of where the line would have been had they kept it. And then beyond that, the last remaining alive civ is the Aztecs, all the way down here, who had their peak and then sort of crumbled and come back a bit. But yeah, nothing special from them. And obviously we can see this is Sweden dying. The line sort of ends. Mongolia dying first, of course. Very abrupt and quick ends then for the Shoshone and Rome, and then Sweden was next to go. Military ranking? All the world rankings. Population, the Iroquois leading the way, then Austria, and then Korea. So a big three there, and the Zulu sitting fourth. Crop yield, Korea, Austria, the Zulu, Iroquois missing out. I feel like it might be those four a lot of the time. Manufactured goods, Korea, Austria, Zulu. GMP, Korea, Zulu, Austria. Land area, Austria, Korea, Zulu. Military manpower, Korea, Austria, Zulu. Social policies, Ethiopia. There we go. Somebody new. Korea and Austria. Where are we at? I'm getting lost. Happiness, India, Korea, Zulu. There we go. Somebody else on the list in India. Is anyone negative? Not at the moment. Happiness, technologies, Korea, miles ahead now. That is insane. Austria and India up there as well. Of course, once they get to like the 80 level, it doesn't matter if we do get that far. Just a heads up, of course. That has started to be one that is eroded away. Net gold, Zulu, Korea, then India again on the list. Let me just Drag this down. Cities, Korea and Austria both with 11. Zulu with 9. Iroquois still up there with 6, but that is rapidly declining. Science, Korea with a massive lead. That's all. That is over. That's not double, but you know, that's 60% almost more than Austria's. Well, sorry if I've got my maths wrong there in my head, but you know, nearly. It's over 50% definitely, because it's 200 more. But it's nearly 300 more. Iroquois then sit in 3rd, so they're still making a lot of science. But if they, so even if they like lose a lot, they'll still be good for tech, which could help them. Culture, Korea, France up in 2nd, and Austria. But yeah, it seems it's between Korea and Austria for the most part. They're tied on wonders with Ethiopia. Treasury, Korea, Zulu, Ethiopia isn't super important. Influence, no one's influential. Great works, Korea does have 10, Austria 9, the Zulu 8. Tourism, Korea again leads Austria and the Zulu. So there we go. We've got probably Korea in the lead. Austria's still up there though, posing a threat, and you never know what could happen. Civs can stall. It can all slow down. We'll see. You could just need your lucky break. But that'll be it for this one. So as always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.